Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. My name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick weekly recap relating to stimulus. So I'll be discussing the possibility of a fourth relief payment, unemployment, the child tax credit payment set to go out next week, and then some other news revolving around stimulus. But first, before I get into the update for today, if you do enjoy videos like this one, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like this video for the good old YouTube algorithm. Alrighty, so jumping right into it for today, it's being reported by Fox 31 in Denver that over 1.3 million checks from the first round of stimulus payments were either paid back, not cashed, or flat out refused. If you total all those payments up that weren't taken advantage of, it comes out to $1.77 billion. It says here that in comparison, the construction of the new Las Vegas Raiders Stadium came out to $1.8 billion, so yeah, that's a lot of money. If you think that's odd, if you think it's odd that the state of Colorado has so many unclaimed stimulus checks, just wait until you find out that they're not even the state with the most. Up on the screen, you'll see a graph showing which states rejected the most amount of checks. As you can see, Pennsylvania took first place by a wide margin with 1.17% of checks going unclaimed. Following Pennsylvania was Indiana, Michigan, and Vermont. States with the lowest level of refused stimulus checks included Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. Now, if we weren't looking at percentages and instead chose to look at numbers alone, Texas would actually rank pretty high, considering that over 93,000 checks went unclaimed, which is the third most from any state. Legally speaking, funding from the CARES Act is voided if physical checks remain uncashed after 1 year, so at this point, all this money would go back to the federal government. While we're on the topic of states and stimulus, if you are a resident of California and haven't already heard, I have some pretty good news. Recently, your state just approved a piece of legislation that would send $600 more in stimulus checks to residents across the state. This, of course, is in addition to the first Golden State stimulus, which sent out payments back in April. Those payments, of course, were much more targeted, only going to those with incomes lower than $30,000 per year. This one, however, is going to be expanded by a lot more, going to individuals with incomes up to $75,000. On top of that, families with dependents will also receive an additional $500 in direct payments. According to estimates, around 66% of Californians will receive these payments, and checks should begin to go out before the end of July. In unemployment news, a man in Detroit just recently pled guilty for filing fraudulent unemployment claims. Turns out, it's actually illegal to file for unemployment for yourself, and especially others, when you're not actually eligible to receive it. According to the plea agreement, Johnny Richardson, either himself or through others, filed fraudulent unemployment claims over the internet in at least 5 states, resulting in a fraudulent disbursement of at least $683,555 of funds intended for unemployment assistance during the pandemic. It was also noted that Richardson frequently posted on Instagram bragging about luxuries they had purchased with the money, such as a new Mercedes-Benz. It's sort of amazing to me that people don't think they're actually going to get caught when doing these types of things. Let's just hope that a lesson is learned from this whole situation. In some other stimulus news, with states receiving the $350 billion windfall in funding, Democrat-leaning states are quick to spend it, while some Republican states say the money is actually being wasted. The mayor of Austin, for example, a heavily Democratic area, used his portion of the money to address his city's growing homeless population. Other states, so far, according to the Treasury Department, are using the money to keep public service workers on the payroll, helping the fishing industry, improving broadband access, and aiding the homeless. However, as I just mentioned, some Republicans in Congress, on the other hand, say that many states are in much better shape than we think, and that we ought to use the rest to pay for infrastructure. Speaking of infrastructure, President Biden is still trying to gain bipartisan support for his upcoming package. Over the past couple of weeks, the president has been hitting Republican districts in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois, trying to win over support. After a bipartisan group in the Senate reached a deal on infrastructure and President Biden endorsed it, instead of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer going with the flow, instead they're going with the approach of my way or the highway. Instead of immediately taking that bill to the floor for a vote, which probably would have passed, it's not good enough for them because, in their opinion, it doesn't include nearly enough spending. Also, Pelosi and Schumer are afraid that if they do pass this bill, they'll lose all leverage to pass other Democratic agendas, such as addressing climate change. Of course, by neglecting this bill, which, again, does happen to be bipartisan, they risk not passing anything at all. Even though Democrats can pretty much pass whatever they would like through reconciliation, they'd still need moderate Democrats such as Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to be on board with their plan. And being that Manchin was one of the members in the bipartisan group that came up with the most recent bill, now being rejected by Pelosi and Schumer, it's hard saying how he'll feel working with those two moving forward. In some other stimulus-related news, in 1 week from today, on the 15th, the first round of $250 or $300 payments from the child tax credit will begin to go out. So again, for each child you have under the age of 6, you'll be receiving $300 per child. Then for each kid you have ages 6 to 17, you'll be receiving $250. This means if you have 3 children ages 2, 4, and 8, in total you'll be receiving $850 per month. These payments will continue on a monthly basis through the remainder of this year. Then when you go to file your tax returns next year, at that point you'll be able to claim the other half. As far as eligibility requirements go, as long as you're earning less than $75,000 as a single filer or as a joint filer less than $150,000, you'll be able to receive these payments. So again, on Thursday of next week, be on the lookout for the first round of those payments. Since the 15th of August next month falls on a Sunday, you'll receive the payments just a little bit earlier, which will be sent out on the 13th. Finally, to wrap up this video, I did want to quickly touch base on the possibility of a fourth stimulus check because that has been one of the more common questions. Last year, we received one stimulus check of $1,200, then that one was followed up with a couple more this year, one of $600, and of course the most recent one of $1,400. At this point though, other than the child tax credit payment set to go out next week, there have been no talks of a separate stimulus check. That means for all others that don't currently have dependents under the age of 18, for you, unfortunately, there's not much more help to come. And with over 2.5 million signatures now currently on the Change.org petition for recurring $2,000 stimulus payments, obviously this is going to come as a huge disappointment. Other than federal stimulus help, some cities have taken it on their own, with California, as I mentioned earlier in this video, approving $600 more in stimulus, and other cities such as St. Paul and Richmond launching guaranteed basic income pilots. Interestingly enough, former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang is actually running for mayor in New York now, where he's running a campaign based around UBI. When running for president of the United States, he was promising each and every American to receive $1,000 per month, which, of course, would have also needed Congress in order to pass, but it should be interesting to see how these trial runs go. As we all know, this money certainly isn't free and will need to be paid for in some type of way. Alrighty, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but first, before you go, Webull is offering my viewers 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 if you sign up using my link in the description box below. Once you open an account with Webull, you'll receive your first free stock valued up to $300. Then, if you make a deposit of at least $5, yes, you heard that right, just $5, at that point, you'll receive the second free stock, this one being valued up to $2,000. Once you receive your 2 free stocks, at that point, if you don't wish to continue investing, you can always transfer the $5 that you deposited right back into your bank account. Then you can even sell your stocks and transfer that money back into your bank account as well. So free stocks or free money, whichever way that you want to think of it. So again, if you would like to take advantage of this offer, make sure to claim those 2 free stocks by clicking my link in the description box below. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching and your support as always. If you did enjoy the content in today's video and would like to help me out, I would greatly appreciate it if you could take just a few seconds out of your day to hit the like button and, as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.